But that's good, I can finally do it. Unso then went to the market to buy medicinal pills. He stopped asked at a large stall, "What kind of medicine is the most famous and valuable in your shop?" The head of the counter explained, "If you want to buy a suitable medicinal pill for a healer like you to use, then the price will be extremely high, and even if there is one, it will already be reserved by all the families." Unso heard that and sighed sadly. Is that so? He couldn't help but feel a little disappointed, originally thinking that if he had enough spirit stones, he could buy the necessary medicinal pills, but the result was a pile of pills. All of these medicines already have their owners. Looks like this trip is meaningless. If you can't buy them, you can only refine them yourself. Or take this opportunity to make Wan Juan some medicinal pills to eat. Petty, right? Refining medicinal pills for demonic beasts costs a lot of spirit stones, and if you are not careful, the spiritual beast that eats them will die immediately, so very few people try to refine medicinal pills for spirit beasts. But if the spiritual beast eats the medicinal pills, then it will have an extremely great supporting effect that spiritual herbs cannot compare to, can enhance spiritual power and cultivation level very quickly. Moreover, I also received the true transmission from my second master. Practicing it shouldn't be a problem to make some medicinal pills for demonic beasts. Since eating the scraps of the golden pill Wan Juan has grown at an amazing speed, its future will definitely be full of promise. If it can grow up like the Taoist Guang O's white cloud crane, that would be great. His spirit beast can fight alone with an heroic warrior, this really makes others. Just as he was about to turn back forward, suddenly an old lady from Bao Xin sect appeared blocking the way. It was a person from Bao Xin sect who really lost his way. The old lady didn't care and clasped her hands towards him. Speaking out, "Young master, our vice master has an invitation for you." Unso had no other choice but to go to Bao Xin sect. "Xia Bing immediately praised you when he saw you. The day I was away from you made me look at you in a different light." The young master only relied on 3 heroic warriors to defeat an enemy force twice as large. This is truly amazing. Unso calmly sat down in front of her. It seemed like she had defeated her. "You know everything, so what's the point of coming to find me?" Xia Bing sighed. "It's not a secret. I always thought that this time you would encounter an unavoidable disaster, so I even broke into a cold sweat on your behalf." Unso pretended to be scared. "Surprised, is that so? Then thank you for your concern." She said so on the outside but cursed in her heart. What a shameless woman. Xia Bing knew full well that the other side was mocking her, but she didn't. "Continue to speak with concern. What I said was from the bottom of my heart, but I didn't expect that young master's strength would be so much beyond my expectations." Unso's face sank, fortunately thanks to the predecessor. "That senior brother gave me a hand, otherwise I wouldn't be able to suppress the Wei family's warrior." Xia Bing smiled. "I know this very well. But the most important thing is still strength. Your own strength and power, isn't that right?" He easily defeated Wei Zhou, a knight of the middle stage, and then captured 3 more warriors. Even Wang Zhongchun, a warrior of the middle stage, was suppressed by the young master. Catch it again? To be precise, the young master single-handedly defeated the entire Wei family. This is truly extraordinary. Unso shook his head and sighed. "Did you call me here just to compliment me?" Xia Bing took out a scroll. "Of course it's not. I still have a few questions to ask you. According to the address you mentioned last time, we have found his body. Faceless murderer. Even though his body was rotten, we were still able to find some clues from it. Faceless murderer died from some kind of poison. His death was very gruesome. He was definitely poisoned. A rare type of poison. When you were dealing with the faceless murderer, you used an extremely rare type of poison. This shows that your strength at that time was inferior to his." Unso on the face. "I'm a little interested, let's continue." Xia Bing didn't have time to continue explaining. "The more interesting thing is still behind. How can you increase your strength in such a short time?" So I really couldn't understand, until I suddenly remembered something. For example, the young master took some treasure from the lake. Could that be an explanation for what happened? Is this already? I don't know what tricks you used to defeat Mrs. Wei and Elder Pyong. Maybe it was the 2 of them who fought each other and got injured to make a profit for the fishermen. Or maybe they messed up. What the Yan'an family's wizards encountered 300 years ago, so you just escaped this disaster, right? Sowol secretly sighed in his heart. The things that helped him become stronger were the golden pills and the Tai Huyan Bao Chin Dan, which had absolutely nothing to do with the treasures in the lake. But he didn't expect her. When he learned about the Yi family's story 300 years ago, he thought about it for a moment and smiled and shook his head. Your analysis is good. If you talk about monologues, you will definitely be very famous. Xia Bing sighed. That's right. Right now there are still 300 years left until the next crack opens, so if you want to get the treasure in the lake, you have to wait another 300 years before it can appear again, so this is possible. It's said that the dead have no way to testify, unless the young man or woman accompanying him says it himself. Otherwise the world will never know the truth. Sowol shook his head and sighed. I've already told you the truth, what else do you want? Xia Bing smiled. I may not believe you when I say this, but you are indeed very attractive to those little ladies. The reason I want to inquire deeply is simply out of curiosity. Just wondering, it's not like I want to sell you out. I sincerely hope to have a long-term cooperation with you. Sowol doubts, isn't Bao Xin sect a place to buy and sell information? Is there anything between us for long-term cooperation? Xia Bing explained, didn't I tell you before? We want to find an expert to search for treasures in the lake, really. Turns out there were many healers who tried their best to enter the Bao Xin sect for us, such as killing monsters, collecting spiritual herbs, searching for treasures, etc. But we were always lacking. Experts participate, so we often entrust healers whose abilities we have verified. Sowol shook his head. Sorry, I usually don't cooperate with people I can't trust. I'm very sorry, but right now I still can't trust you. Xia Bing took the strategy test and created 2 dummies of himself and Sowol. The rule of the master is to cooperate with people who can be trusted, and our principle is to discuss cooperation with competent people. Putting everything else aside, you are an extremely suitable person for me to discuss cooperation with. You may think I'm snobby, but this is my rule of survival. In fact, I also hope I can become a person with high utility value. Sowol silently lamented in his heart. It's true that he really needs spirit herbs, demonic beasts and treasures, but it doesn't have to be through Xia Bing to get them. Okay, just this incident with the Wei family is enough to give me a headache. I better not get involved with her anymore. Thinking for a moment, he slowly stood up. I see that we are not together. I'm on my way, so it's useless to talk too much. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. At this moment, Xia Bing spoke again. Yeonam Kingdom is located somewhere east of Daewon Nation. Who knows how far? Sowol heard that and was startled, stood up and immediately stopped on the spot. Is this information you know? Xia Bing smiled. Of course not, haven't I said it before? I want to become a person with high useful value. If I tell you all the information, then wouldn't it be me? Isn't it worth a sou? Sowol continued to ask, what do you want to get? Xia Bing shook his head. I still haven't figured it out. If you like to cooperate with trustworthy people, then I think I can try it myself. A moment later, Sowol left Xiao's place. Bing walked out. He thought as he walked, 7 silver-scaled snake. She won't set me up for no reason, right? Let's try it out first and talk about it later. Without using poison, it seems like it would be very difficult to deal with high-level demon beasts. But lately I haven't been able to buy poison herbs to increase my stamina, so I've only heard of one. A little bit of news about Yeonam Kingdom. The current conditions are still not perfect enough, and after that I still have to read the right to record that memory. Sowol quickly arrived at a merchant guild, just entering him. Immediately told the manager, I came to use the teleportation array. I want to go to the Australian Forest Palace. Switching back to a while ago when Sowol was still at Xia Bing's place, once upon a time there was a local man. Scholar from Yeonam Kingdom. After passing through many countries he came to this place, finally settled down, got married, had children and lived peacefully in Daewon Nation. Hundreds of years ago he wrote very many memoirs. In the book, there are records of his trip and some old things in his memoirs, but all of those books are recorded in unknown documents. Determined, it is basically impossible for the world to understand the content of the book. Considering that he is a monk with a very high level of cultivation, the memoirs are probably a treasure, so the group has bought those books back. Many years later we were still looking for someone who could read the text inside the books, but unfortunately all were unsuccessful. No one could read the content written in the books. After that, those books became useless things that no one paid attention to, and were finally thrown into the dust in the headquarters book warehouse. Sowol heard her say everything and suddenly woke up. It was "Is that so?" Xia Bing was a bit angry and said harshly, "Was your reaction too cold? It really makes me feel very disappointed. Do you know how much I had to work hard to get this information?" Sowol sighed again. "Oh well then, it's been hard for her." Xia Bing saw his attitude and was so angry that she gritted her teeth. But there was no other way, she forcing himself to calm down and smile. "Okay, wait until you read those books and you'll know." Recalling this incident in his mind, Sowol couldn't help but make a guess. It's possible those books are written in Yeonam Kingdom script, so the people of Daewon Nation can't read and understand. I originally didn't want to get involved too much with Xia Bing, but if it was news about Yeonam Kingdom, I couldn't. The manager searched for a moment in front and suddenly exclaimed, "UC Lam Palace is UC Lam Palace. I found it. This is a medium-sized transmission array that can be used for 8 people. If you want to use it alone, then you need to pay enough spirit stones for 8 people." Sowol heard that and immediately changed hands. "Then I will wait at the nearby guest house. When there are enough people, please let me know," he said silently. In his heart, there was no need to rush to kill the 7 silver-scaled snake. Waiting a few more days wouldn't be a problem. Time passed just like that. After 2 days, Sowol was informed by the manager that there were enough people. He looked at the people in front and couldn't help but feel a little surprise. He didn't expect that in just 2 days, 8 people had already been gathered. That place was very rich in demonic beasts and spiritual herbs. It seems that has attracted many knights to come and visit. The pattern on his clothes is cloud-shaped, so they are the Knights of Mount White sect. It is said that this sect has very strong strength, and is also a famous political sect. But this does not mean that the people in the political sect are all good and honest men and women. The specifics also depend on the scope of influence, qigong, magic, and the nature of situations of each sect. For example, Elder Pham of the Tiger Clan Manor, they are also a force of the political faction, but he is a cunning and cruel villain. But his sister is a member of the Iron Protector sect and is a gentle person. Gentle and kind. So we can't help but be wary of others. Even if the other person is from the right sect, we should still be careful. The 2 older people are about middle-aged men and young men, respectively. Early period. A man and a woman are Thien Tai Ky. Are their relationship that of junior sister and younger brother? But why haven't the other 3 arrived yet? Sowol silently evaluated them. The other people were also silently evaluating him. This young man seemed to have a similar cultivation level. Soon the remaining 3 people led each other over. As soon as they left, there was a lot of discussion. There will definitely be a lot of rare spiritual herbs here. Haha, I hope you won't exaggerate this time. As soon as they arrived, all 3 people's hair stood up at the same time. Mouth is Mountain White sect, are we late? Sowol looked at the 3 newcomers and thought silently. It seems like they are afraid of Mountain White sect from the bottom of their hearts, right? Looking at that exaggerated expression, everyone else is ganging up. I should still be a humble knight. Soon the teleportation formation was started. Sowol and the others enter inside. 7 silver-scaled snake, here I come. After being teleported to Sowol, he immediately started hunting and killing demonic beasts and collecting spiritual herbs. In the blink of an eye, 5 days passed. After 5 constantly moving all day long, licking treasures, monsters, and spiritual herbs, Sowol finally stopped next to a stream. Purple and green willows, pine grass, and a small stream. Here is exactly like what Xia Bing described. 7 silver-scaled snake is a master at hiding. Instead of struggling to find it, it's better to let it take the bait itself. It hunts scents thanks to the vibrations on its face earth. I just need to walk around like that to lure it out of the cave. Plus I use hidden true magic, pretending to be a lowly cultivated monk. It will definitely take the bait. After a moment, the corner of Sowol's mouth raised. It was indeed effective. As he expected, 7 silver-scaled snake took the initiative to come out and want to eat him. But it didn't have time to bite him. Sowol flew up to escape. 7 silver-scaled snake saw that and did not give up, continuing to open its mouth to bite. Sowol once again used his body to dodge and did not rush to fight it. continuously failing to attack 7 silver-scaled snake, was now a bit angry. It did not rush to attack crazily anymore but stood in place staring at Sowol and screamed extremely fiercely. Sowol saw the venom flowing from its mouth and widened his eyes. Then, seeing the incomprehensible expression of the demon snake, he angrily carried his sword and rushed forward, daring to waste my precious venom. 7 silver-scaled snake was very quickly cut in half by Sowol. Then he immediately collected its venom and stored it away. 7 silver-scaled snake's venom is a highly toxic substance, which can instantly kill the body. Paralysis leads to death. Although its needle properties and silver scales are both top-quality ingredients, for me, the venom is the most needed thing right now. While Sowol is sitting down to observe the demon snake's body, its eyes suddenly moved. Then it opened its mouth to bite at him. Sowol was not surprised and calmly waved his hand and slapped it away. "Are you being rude? Even if the snake demon beast is beheaded, it will not die immediately. I already know this very well. I have long arranged a light screen to protect the spiritual energy around the body, and the venom has been removed. By the way, pulled out its fangs, followed by its scales and internal pills. After taking all the valuable things from the snake demon's body, Sowol immediately used fire to burn its body, and quickly burned it himself. Hurry up and fly below. That Xia Bing is indeed unreliable, but her news is very valuable." Flying a little more, he suddenly discovered a cave on a mountain top. Is there a cave in that direction? A cave of some demonic beast? He quickly landed and went inside. This cave was too small. There seemed to be no demonic beasts living inside. This place was quite suitable for setting up a formation, so here he could refine the medicine for Wan Juan. "Let's go." Luckily I bought enough spiritual herbs in Weijing and Huayang, plus some that Wan Juan found. Furthermore, 7 silver-scaled snake's metal attribute inner pill just matches the metal attribute of Wan Juan. This is truly the perfect ingredient to refine medicinal pills. During this time my alchemy techniques have also made significant progress. The purity of the flames is also much better. Perhaps there is can refine a large amount of medicinal pills right now. After an exhausting effort of refining, Sowol finally finished refining the medicinal pills. He looked at the box of medicinal pills in front of him and exhaled. When he refined a large amount of medicinal pills for Dr. Thien Tai Ky, it was not as difficult as now. He used the inner pills of a high-grade demon beast to refine the medicinal pills. "It's made me spend too much effort. It's time to witness the miracle. Let Wan Juan try 5 pills first to see what the results are." Sowol quickly released Wan Juan and then placed 5 medicinal pills in front of him. Seeing that Wan Juan didn't eat it right away but instead sat there and looked at it, Sowol couldn't help but laugh. This kid always gets used to smelling the medicine when he sees the medicinal pills. But why doesn't he eat it? Is it possible that after eating knitting needles, your taste has changed? Wan Juan, I know you're a very picky eater. Since eating the golden pill, your appetite has increased, but the things I made for you are all top quality, eat them quickly. But beyond Sowol's expectations, Wan Juan still showed an expression of dislike and not wanting to eat. Sowol saw that and had no choice but to stand up helplessly. "If he doesn't eat, then I won't force him. It's true that kindness is despised, please be resentful. Since you refused to eat it, you could just throw it away." Wan Juan saw that he wanted to take the medicine and throw it away and his eyes widened. Then quickly stood up and pushed his hand away. Then quickly bowed his head to eat. Sowol felt proud in his heart. In just a blink of an eye he had already eaten a few pills. There were a few left over to observe a bit. Then feed again. There are a total of 10 green pills. In addition, you also use 7 points of the demon snake's inner pill to make the pill. Just feed slowly. If you feed it all at once, I'm afraid it won't be good. For Wan Juan's body. It's been eating for a while now, why hasn't there been any change? The appetite is definitely made picky by the needle. I don't think it's a problem to feed a few more green pills, but after all, it's feeding a monster so you shouldn't be too hasty. It's better. Wait another week and let it eat the rest of the pills. After a week, all the green pills have been eaten by Sowol for Wan Juan. He looked at the red pills. In his hand, he thought to himself, Now there is only this medicinal pill left that is made from the inner pill of the 7 silver-scaled snake that I spent a lot of effort to create. Wan Juan still doesn't know that he has this medicinal pill, but that was just what he thought. But from the moment he took out this medicinal pill, Wan Juan's eyes shone brightly. It took advantage of Unso Wol's lack of attention and immediately rushed forward to grab the medicinal pill. In his hand, Unso Wol scolded a little angrily, "You rotten brat. You know how to look at goods. Once you see VIP goods, you won't sit still right away." He didn't hesitate any longer and quickly threw the pill. The last medicine he gave it. Wan Juan excitedly took the medicine and ate it, then exhaled extremely satisfied. Unso Wol looked at it obediently sleeping on the side and couldn't help but sigh, "You are truly a great man. The family is safe and luxurious. That's right, now I should focus my efforts on researching the 7 silver-scaled snake's poison. This is the secret weapon of top-level monsters, a powerful poison. Among the things I've made recently, I'm really looking forward to it. If a normal person gets just 1 drop, they will immediately die. To be sure, use diluted poison to test the function. After injecting the diluted poison into my body, I waited forever and still had no reaction. Unso Wol immediately decided to increase the dosage, this time without diluting the poison and trying the original poison. Let's see. As soon as the poison was injected into Unso Wol's body, he immediately reacted. He couldn't help but endure the pain and excitement. That's right, it was this feeling. Let's see if we can add a little more. After a while his eyes became blurry and his body felt a bit sleepy. Soon he lay down next to Wan Juan unconscious. I don't know how long it took for Unso Wol to wake up. Slowly waking up in a coma, what is that slimy thing? It seems like I've encountered this kind of thing before. When he realized that Wan Juan was licking my face, he quickly sat up and pushed it away. Sure enough, I fell asleep after a drop of liquid. Then add another 10 drops in a row. Although the head hurts a bit, the body is still okay. Anyway, 7 silver-scaled snake's poison is also an anesthetic poison, except for paralyzing the body. It can also cause mental paralysis. This feeling is like having a beautiful dream. Getting a good night's sleep is really good. For someone like me who hardly sleeps, this feeling is truly amazing. My current body condition seems very good. I must have developed immunity to this poison, right? But what's wrong with Wan Juan? Is it a bit bored? Wait a few gentle scratches but it forms such a deep claw mark. Has the medicinal pill been digested and absorbed? I had to observe for a bit, but after a while he called out to Wan Juan. Seeing that he was completely ignoring my words and still frantically scratching on the cliff, his face immediately wrinkled. He took the test. Using magic to bind its hands and feet, it was cold. How about it? Has the medicinal pill started to take effect? After being bound so tightly by the sealing technique, you can still struggle a little. It's really interesting. Does Wan Juan want to be released? First, show me how strong you've become. Wan Juan was extremely angry when he was tied up, screaming and gesticulating. Unso Wol saw that it could still move and used more. Try increasing the strength of the binding seal a little higher. After a while Wan Juan stopped screaming and struggling. Unso Wol saw that helpless look of his and felt in his heart have some doubts. Have you given up? But what happened next surprised him. The binding seal that was tied to Wan Juan's body was broken free. As soon as it broke free, all its hairs stood up and it growled angrily. Looking at Unso Wol called out the light screen to protect his spiritual energy and silently exclaimed. Wan Juan actually struggled to escape the binding seal on his own. It was truly unbelievable. It actually had you can't break free from the bondage of the binding seal. It seems you have really become stronger. Okay, just rush over here. Wan Juan is still very angry. It's not polite at all. Raised his claws and released several claws towards Unso Wol to attack. Unso Wol observed its attack and was startled. Wait, isn't this a move of the air source sword? It's just that the color of the sword's body doesn't seem to be the same. Defending Wan Juan's attack, the corner of Unso Wol's mouth couldn't help but lift up with excitement. Moreover, the way to deploy the sword technique is similar to Flying Swallow Energy Strike. It's just a pity that it lacks the power of Monarch of the Evil Sword, but this is still considered very powerful. What an interesting kid, but he stole my skills, even though doesn't pose any danger to me, but your performance really makes me look at it with different eyes. This level of people can be considered to have reached the top level, for even if it's not the top level, it's okay. For a young demon beast lacking actual combat experience, this is already extremely good. The medicinal pill is indeed effective. You can rest assured that I will use it in the future. Won't stop providing you with medicinal pills. You just need to eat the medicinal pills to grow quickly. Wan Juan was still extremely angry about being tied up earlier. He once again ignored Unso and turned around. Continuing to scratch the rocks, Unso saw his attitude and couldn't help but sigh in his heart. If this rotten boy surpasses me in the future, what should I do? My feelings right now are really too complicated. Unso then left the royal sword cave. He took out the compass he got from Wee Pei OK. Was he too busy before? Have a chance to use this thing. I didn't expect this needle of wisdom to actually be a treasure. Just run the needle up and down. Nearby you will definitely be able to find spirit herbs, spirit stones, or as a demonic beast. I finally understand why Wee Pei OK was able to reach the solar stage at such a young age, and also why Wee Pei OK dared to risk his life to enter in the lake. A place where people from the Wee family and the Mountain Willow Manor do not dare to enter. It turns out that she relies on herself to have this needle of wisdom. Before, I felt that this thing was it's not simple. Now it seems to me that this treasure is truly a rare good thing that is hard to find. This thing is different from Wan Juan. It can directly guide me to find a place where there are many. Spiritual energy can double the efficiency of searching for spiritual herbs. That's so good. I want to take all the precious spiritual herbs in this forest. That's right, monster. I'll also suck all the spiritual stones, hee. I feel that this area is quite suitable compared to Yan'an. The soil here is much more fertile. I can harvest more here if I search here. Since using Needle of Wisdom, the amount of spiritual herbs that I picked has increased several levels. Before, I could only find spiritual herbs from the alchemy period, and sometimes I was lucky enough to discover the natural herbs, but now most of them are from the alchemy period. Tai Ky, when you're lucky, you can also discover the spiritual herbs of Track and Ky. I don't know what spiritual herbs you'll find this time. While excitedly thinking about the future, he suddenly got startled. Huh? Have murderous intent? Is someone fighting a demon beast? He quickly walked in the direction of the murderous aura. Soon he saw a group of wizards trying their best to defend against the demonic beast's attack. The two wizards, who looked like exam heroes, moved out into the protective light screen. The spiritual energy enveloped the two monks. The two of you stood behind, don't move. As soon as Unso looked, he realized that they were the Mountain White sect's magicians who had teleported with him earlier. Their situation didn't seem to be very good. It was best for him to observe a little first, anyway. Then fighting each other, the fishermen making a profit is also quite interesting. You can also hone and learn combat experience. Why not watch it? Those monkeys seem to be King Kong monsters. Really, their strength in the group of high-level demon beasts is also top 1, top 2. Even 2 or 3 warriors of the same level would be very difficult to stop them when they are attacking like a tide, combined with their natural nature. Their roughness and flexible mind, this is a type of monster that is very difficult to tease. I originally thought that those 2 heroic warriors could fight a great battle, but unfortunately they only cared about protecting their disciples and did not want to counterattack. No matter how they were beaten, they had to defend themselves. Disciple guard, such a master is really quite handsome. If it weren't for those 2 disciples, based on the 2 heroic soldiers, they would definitely have counterattacked long ago, or directly withdrew from the battle. It's just a pity that those 2 themed Tai Ky disciples pulled their legs. Seeing the situation getting worse and worse, the girl behind couldn't help but scream loudly, "Master, don't worry about us anymore. You should quickly counterattack. If you continue like this, you won't be fine." The old man gritted his teeth to resist. "No way, if you counterattack, you will heal a little and keep a lot, but you don't know this trick. Can it be used?" After speaking, he immediately waved his hand and threw out a few talismans. The King Kong group in front didn't have time to react, and he immediately beat and injured them. Unso saw that, then he secretly sighed in his heart. No, doing so would only increase the anger of these King Kong people. But after all, they are famous Mountain White sect healers, so they probably still exist. Is there another trick? Just as Unso thought, the monkeys were even angrier when they counterattacked. They all screamed again, picked up rocks and threw them at the Mountain White sect people. Old man, the other person, didn't sit still and endure the battle anymore and shouted loudly, deploying the Quaternary Palace. Unso heard this name and was a bit surprised. The Quaternary Palace? The four people quickly joined forces to transfer spiritual energy to the leading old man. Outside, the light curtain quickly condensed a huge stream of spiritual energy. The group of monkeys in front were immediately attacked by his attack. I blew away countless. Unso, who was watching from the side, suddenly woke up. It turned out to be a way to strengthen his attack ability, so that the spiritual power of the early stage of the heroic period was transmitted to the body of the monk of the middle stage of the heroic period. Plus, the person in the middle releases spiritual energy to shield everyone. If there isn't enough spiritual energy, he takes more from the two monks behind him. The action of throwing spiritual talismans around before made me feel sad. It feels like I'm looking down on them, but this formation and their magic are very powerful. Although the body will have to endure a certain amount of pressure, it can perform magic that surpasses even that. The realm is similar to that of the late British period. Unfortunately, this type of magic requires many people with similar abilities to execute it at the same time. If you want to perform it, you can only do it with no effort. Monkeys at this point, they were so angry that they couldn't contain it anymore. They didn't play from afar and threw rocks anymore. They jumped directly onto the spiritual energy protective light screen and punched and kicked crazily. That old man saw that. I'm so worried. They still show no signs of retreating. It seems like our oppressive attacks aren't enough to drive them away. It turns out they are monsters that value love and loyalty. Even if I risk my life, I have to avenge my comrades. I miscalculated this phase. If I continue to use the Quaternary Palace, my body will no longer be able to endure it. There are still more than 10 King Kongs waiting. Surrounded further, what should we do now to be okay? Thinking for a moment, he then directed the remaining 3 people to disarm the Quaternary Palace, focusing all our hidden abilities to destroy all remaining King Kong. The crowd quickly did as he said. After a while they finally succeeded in defeating the monkeys. The young man asked the old man, "What's wrong with you, master?" The old man looked at his hand and sighed, "I'm fine, just a little bit of my vitality damaged. After drinking the elixir of purity and then coming back to recover for a few more years, I'll be fine." Hearing that, the young man immediately breathed out, "Then that's lucky." The old man looked at his disciple and thought to himself, "It seems that Yi Lip is also very weak right now." After all, the elixir of purity is an ancestral medicine that the disciples of the natural state cannot have. This type of medicinal pill. But as a master, how can I not care about my disciples? Thinking of this, he immediately took out a medicinal pill and asked his disciple to accept it. Yi Lip quickly waved his hand, "Master, how can I accept your medicinal pill?" The old man said harshly, "Quickly take it. Isn't your goal to become the youngest warrior of the age? What does it matter if it's just an elixir of purity?" Hearing that, Yi Lip was no longer polite and immediately took the elixir and drank it. "So thank you very much, master," the other old man. Seeing this situation, I couldn't help but be surprised. My senior brother actually gave the elixir to his disciple. I even hesitated to take the elixir. If I drank the elixir of purity alone, wouldn't that be right? Will he become a stingy master? Thinking of this, he also took out his elixir of purity and gave it to the female disciple. "Mena, I'm fine. This pill is for you." The female kept waving her hand. No, master, please don't be like this." Still the one who uses it himself. When he heard that, he didn't hesitate anymore and immediately took the medicinal pill. "Well then I'll listen to you." Silently applauding in my heart. Still my Mena, I'm smart. Unlike that Yi Lip who doesn't know what's called politeness, he's truly my good disciple. At this moment, while the crowd wasn't paying attention, Yi Lip suddenly appeared again. He killed his master. The other 2 people saw this and couldn't believe it. "Senior brother, how is this possible? You bastard. Yi Lip, why are you so cruel to your master?" Yi Lip completely ignored his question. He turned around and directly swung his hand to attack him. The old man tried to use his remaining spiritual power to call out. The protective spiritual energy light screen was blocked. Yi Lip looked at his struggling appearance and mocked him with disdain. Relying on such a thin spiritual energy barrier, did he still want to resist? The old man stared at him, extremely angry. The power just now was when he used the quaternary palace. This bastard secretly kept his power, plus ate the elixir of purity. Not only was his spiritual power not damaged at all, on the contrary, it was greatly enhanced. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. You bastard. Yi Lip laughed and laughed. Hands up, the spirit of sacrifice of my master and my uncle touched me so much. After I return to the Mountain White sect, I will definitely praise you too in front of all the disciples. Old man, the remaining heroic warrior, quickly perished under Yi Lip's magic palm. Mena on the side witnessed her master's tragic death. Her face was filled with horror. Fear immediately inspired her spiritual energy and wanted to rush to attack Yi Lip. Yi Lip smiled and glanced at her. Junior sister, I advise you to stop trying to struggle. Mena still couldn't understand. He stopped his action and asked in doubt, my brother really didn't expect you to be such a cruel person, why would you do that? Yi Lip smiled and sighed, actually this is just a matter of choice, I have no other choice. Because we have killed more than 30 high-level King Kong monsters, if we don't do that, how can we monopolize all of those internal pills? Besides, think about the number of demonic beasts we killed in the forest, it really makes people feel moved. Mena blames herself in her heart, thinking he was a talented fellow. I have a rare kind of outstanding quality, I really have blind eyes, but I'm bewitched by this beast. And I even help him and too kill the demon beast. I'm really angry to death. After thinking for a moment, she asked him, what do you want to do with me? Yi Lip calmly replied, why do you still have to ask about this? Of course I want to kill people to get rid of them. Otherwise, if this matter gets out, it will be very troublesome. The problem is that if I go back like this, I have to obediently hand over my storage bag. This is also a problem. This is an extremely difficult problem. If I left the sect right then and there, it wouldn't be appropriate. I can't waste so many years of useless accumulation. What is your plan, junior sister? Or not? Mena sighed. How could you do such a thing when a monk destroyed an ancestor like that? This is truly a heinous crime. Yi Lip angrily kicked her master's body towards her. The wizards they trained were all a bunch of useless gentle souls, and they spent all day trusting that you're a senior and then acting like you're not. That kind of brokenness can't continue to develop, so what happens in the end? Isn't he still being insulted by the nameless stone crowd? I have no reason to return to that hateful Mountain White sect anymore. Based on my bravery, I don't have to worry about not being able to find a sect to live in. I have to bring everything here to start a life. Just start it over again. Mena was terrified, thinking that if he said it all frankly like that, he would definitely kill me in a moment. I really regret that I trusted the cruel people who still exist. More than this wild beast. Master and uncle were actually killed by this kind of evil person. The two of them must have died without being able to close their eyes. I really wanted to avenge them. But the quaternary palace had already exhausted all my spiritual energy. It seems like I really have to die here today. Yi Lip smiled and raised her hand to condense the spiritual energy. Farewell, junior sister. At that moment, a beam of spiritual energy passed through his head. Before Mena's surprised eyes, Yi Lip just died on the spot. She turned around to look and saw someone. Unso. Unso, with a gloomy face, slowly approached Yi Lip's body. Originally, the resentment and hatred between them had nothing to do with me, but this time it was different. I couldn't stand by and watch. Mena was still surprised as the person stood there watching Unso take the bag. Yi Lip's storage. What exactly happened just now? Could it be that this person just killed Yi Lip? Looking at his face without any ripples, I thought he was just a passerby. I couldn't feel his aura. He seemed like a handsome monk. I wouldn't be the one. Did you just escape the wolf's mouth and fall into the tiger's mouth? Still not sure what the other person's intentions are. It's best to probe first. He doesn't seem to have any malicious intentions, otherwise he would have done it long ago. After thinking for a moment, she decided to ask. Let's see, was it you who saved me just now? Unso stepped on Yi Lip. No, I just wanted to kill him. Mena's face was full of helplessness. Huh? Isn't this the same thing? Unso turned his head and glanced at her to explain. I just couldn't stand this type of person when the monk destroyed the nest, so I took action. Mena nodded in agreement. That's right, I also hate him very much. Sowol continued to walk towards the bodies of those two old men. Although the value of 30 King Kong pills is not low, for me the storage bag, the things of a noble monk, are the truly valuable things. After thinking for a moment, he suddenly asked, besides that kid, does your uncle have any other disciples? Mena explained, no, if there is no special reason. Each master can only accept one disciple. This is the rule of our Mountain White sect. Sowol asked again, does he still have family? Mena replied, the monk has always been single and has never been married until now. He is still a virgin. Sowol continued, so what should you do with the monk's storage bag? Mena stroked her chin in thought, maybe that was submitted to the top, right? While she felt awkward, Sowol suggested, if he said so, it would be reasonable for me to take his storage bag away, right? Mena was startled, please wait a moment. She held her head and quickly turned her thoughts around. He wanted to take away his uncle's storage bag if he took their bodies away after. When I returned, the people in the sect asked about their storage bags, so how should I explain? At that point, hundreds of mouths couldn't explain it clearly. After thinking for a moment, she gritted her teeth and said, please forgive me for being blunt, if you really brought a storage bag. Go away. Then after returning to the sect, I don't know how to explain it to the sect. They might even suspect me. If I don't point out the seniors, I have no way to explain it to the sect. The whole sect. Sowol suddenly woke up, what you said is right. Mena's spiritual energy circulated silently in her body, thinking, if he kills me now, then my storage bag and the monks will be lost. Uncle and master will both become his trophies. If I die here, my body will definitely be eaten by monsters. No one will ever know what happened here, so no matter what, I have to think of a way to survive. Thinking for a moment, she took out her storage bag. Please wait a moment, see if this is okay. Mountain White sect, we have a custom. When a monk of the same age takes his disciples out to practice for the first time, the sect will provide them with the position of a high-level demon beast. Although this you may have to hand it over, but Ne Dan can still keep it, and is also allowed to pass it on to the disciples. What I can report to the sect today is that before killing the demon beast, Yi Lip created karma. If you kill your master, if that's the case, then the Ne pills and the body won't need to be handed over anymore, they will naturally become yours. Sowol is a bit doubtful, but logically it's true that a part of the Ne Dan also has your part in it. Why are you giving it all to me? Mena's face was full of helplessness. This thing. Sowol saw her like that and whispered and thought, could it be that she's afraid that she'll kill someone? So why did you come up with this way to silence me? Even though I was just passing by and felt dissatisfied, so I killed this wretched disciple, but after taking away the storage bags of her master and uncle, I also felt the same in my heart. Feeling a bit uneasy. Thinking for a moment, he reached out his hand to receive the internal pill. Then I will take the monster's body and internal pill away, but I will only take part, the rest it's originally yours, so keep it. Mena looked at Sowol's bag in her heart and then completely exhaled. Fortunately this person is not a cruel person. Sowol headed towards the exam site. If the monkeys go, it seems like the bodies of these King Kongs will have to be dealt with a bit. Mena looked at Sowol and secretly analyzed. The inner pills of high-level demon beasts were very rare for the heroic warrior. He actually left behind only half of them. He at least did not must be a bad person like Yi Lip. But just now he wanted to take away his uncle's storage bag, and also wanted to take away the internal pills and the monster's body. It seems like he wasn't completely human. Good deed. Thinking for a moment, she went to stroke the eyes of the two old men, master and uncle. The two of them died unjustly. With their cultivation level, they should not have died at the hands of a celestial physician. Period. In her mind, she remembered what her master had said when she was alive. Mena, the higher the cultivation level, the harder it is for a monk to die, but the lifespan of a monk is still limited, so the cause is while I'm still alive. You should quickly increase your cultivation level to the heroic level so that I can see your majestic appearance. Mena waved his hand, but your cultivation level is still hundreds of years away from breakthrough. Okay, master, stop babbling. The more she thought about it, the more heartbroken she became and couldn't help but cry. Sowol was looking around and suddenly discovered a bush in the grass. Medicinal pill. You quickly bring the medicinal pill back to Mena. Are the bodies all cleaned up? This is the elixir that her master has not yet had time to swallow. When Mena saw the elixir, countless thoughts arose in her heart. It was the elixir of purity, because at this time I had used up all my hidden abilities, so my spiritual energy seemed to have no way to recover. If we have the help of the elixir of purity, we will soon be able to restore our spiritual energy. But it's not some kind of poison, right? But if he wanted to kill me, he would have done it long ago. There was no need to trick her into wasting time like this. Suspecting him for no reason is not good. On the contrary, Unso saw her just bewildered in that place. He took out 2 more pills to help replenish spiritual energy and gave them to her. Thinking for a moment, she thanked Unso, then took the medicinal pill and put it in her mouth to eat. As soon as she swallowed the elixir, she immediately felt a stream of spiritual energy flowing through her body. The effect was not inferior to the elixir of purity, such a premium elixir, yet he gave it to me. But very quickly her eyes became blurry. Then she lay down on the ground unconscious. Unso was surprised and immediately helped her up. Come on, let me see your condition first. Mena's body was sweating like rain. Her body was in pain and trembling non-stop. After checking for a moment, Unso was startled. She didn't expect that the spiritual supplement medicine would backfire. Effect on her, her body seemed to be in extremely terrible pain. Because the medicine contained too much spiritual energy, her body could not completely absorb it, so the remaining excess spiritual energy continuously ran amok in her body. There was no other way. The only way was to quickly remove the spiritual energy in her body. I had to compress my spiritual energy to the maximum, to absorb her spiritual energy. With the help of Unso, Mena's face quickly began to relax. Seeing that she was no longer trembling, Unso breathed out, "Okay for now." The immediate danger has now been eliminated. The effects of the elixir of purity and the spirit replenishing pill may last for a month, but now the speed can only be slowed down. This place is surrounded by mountains. The forest is dense, there are many eyes and ears, there are many monsters. I have to find a safe place to heal her. Unso then took Mena back to the cave on the top of the mountain the day before. He placed Mena inside to rest, slowly refining her medicinal power. I don't know how long it took for her to finally wake up from the coma. Sitting up, she saw herself lying in a coma. "A cave," she exclaimed in surprise. "Where's this place?" Her mind immediately remembered Unso. What happened after meeting her senior? Why don't we remember anything? Could it be that he did something to me? But there doesn't seem to be anything unusual about my body. It turns out he saved my life. I really want to say thank you to him. That's right, I have to quickly tell my master what happened. Sect. If that senior agrees to be a witness, then I can prove Yi Lip's evil actions. After a while she stood up and walked out of the cave. That's right. Where is this place? Also, where have the seniors gone? She didn't leave right away, but just sat at the cave entrance and waited. Very quickly night fell, but there was still no sign of Unso returning. She was a bit disappointed. Hope sighed, could he really be gone? Wait until I recover and then I will leave this forest and return to the sect. No matter what, I must return to the Mountain White sect. At this moment, Unso came over and asked, "Can I be alone?" Seeing Unso return, she couldn't help but stand up excitedly. Senior turned out to be the one who set up the formation in the cave. Unso smiled. "It seems like your condition is quite good, right?" Mena seriously made a pleading face and looked at Unso. "Senior, please come back to Mountain White sect with me." Unso heard that she wanted to go with her back to Mountain White sect as a witness, then fell into deep contemplation. "I don't want to go to the Mountain White sect yet. I killed Yi Lip. It was him when the monk destroyed the nest. I think the Mountain White sect will not prosecute me because of this." The problem was that the 2 dead monks looked like they were dead. They would probably definitely investigate this matter, maybe they would find him. After thinking for a moment, he nodded in agreement and went to Mountain White sect for a photo tour. "Like it's okay." Mena excitedly clapped her hands. "I agree. Have you ever been to Mountain White sect before?" Unso shook his head. "No." Mena was excited. "Then you definitely don't miss this time. Our founder opened the mountain to find a place with beautiful scenery and full of spiritual energy to exploit. Founder of the sect, he searched every corner of Yueyang province. Finally came to this white mountain. Sowol in doubt, did the founder come out to open the mountain? Mena nodded, that's right, he is a magician. I heard that he would later attain enlightenment and become an immortal. He is an extremely talented person. The two of them just flew forward. Below the White Sect mountain gate, a young man came out to welcome you. Junior sister, you're back. Senior uncle and senior brother, where are you? Mena sighed, it's a long story. Let's go inside and continue talking. When the young man heard that, he also knew that it wasn't simple and nodded. Okay, let's go in. As soon as Mena entered, he introduced himself. This is Senior Sowol, here to discussing. They walked for a while when they met a middle-aged woman. She led them to a long stone urn. Starting from this place, it was forbidden to use teleportation magic weapons, please understand. For anyone is no exception unless there is an order from the head of the sect. Sowol does not pay too much attention and nods, I know. Sowol looks at the stone stairs leading straight to the top of the mountain ahead for a moment. After that, he and Mena flew up. They quickly reached the main hall on the top of the mountain. As soon as Mena landed, she clasped her hands and shouted inside, disciple. Yo Min visited the master of the courtyard. Inside, someone immediately pushed the door out. Sowol stood silently next to her from beginning to end, observing. Inside the main hall sat alone. Old man, on the left and right next to him stood several other old men. As soon as Sowol entered, he clasped his hands in greeting. This is Sowol, hello senior. The old man calmly replied, I am the head of the law enforcement hall of Mountain White Sect Sun Wook. He observed Sowol silently thinking in his heart, it's strange, I all know Yueyang province's heroic-looking magician, but what about this person? Not impressed at all, huh? Since when did Yueyang province have such a young and heroic warrior? Thinking for a moment, he then asked Yo Min, tell me, why are you here? Yo Min hesitantly replied, this is like that. Something very scary happened in the forest. Now outside the kneeling hall there are 3 dead bodies. Sun Wook was surprised, dead bodies? I had to go see for myself. Wait until my subordinates check Sun Wook's body and then ask, what happened? The other person replied, after checking, I confirmed that Yung Peng and Wan Chung were hit by white bullets and died. Sun Wook heard that and was surprised. Isn't this the magic of Mountain White? The old man continued to explain, it can be confirmed that before the 2 heroic-looking soldiers died, they had suffered very serious internal injuries. The bullet marks were extremely clear. It could be confirmed that they were disciples facing masters. Created by the master who destroyed the ancestors. The problem is that we have to clarify whether this disciple is Yi Lip or Yo Min. Yo Min heard this and screamed in excitement, wanting to explain. I was attacked by a group of King Kong. Luckily we tried our best to deal with it, but unexpectedly senior brother Yi rebelled, seriously injuring master and uncle, including me, to rob the bag. Master and uncle's treasure. Senior brother wanted to poison us, then he wanted to kill everyone and destroy everyone. It was at this time that Senior Sowol appeared in time to save my life. Sun Wook heard that and immediately turned his head to look at Sowol, is this old brother who killed the traitor Yi Lip and saved his disciple Yo Min. Sowol nodded, that's right. I saw that he wanted to kill people and destroy his voice, so I had no choice but to stop him. I used Tai Chi to control him. The old man next to Sun Wook nodded. Monk, what he said was right. There was absolutely no trace of internal injuries on Yi Lip's body. Sun Wook heard this and immediately clasped his hands and said to Sowol, the matter is clear, you promptly controlled that traitor. To save this sect's disciples, I clasp my hands together to thank you on behalf of this sect. But this is only a temporary conclusion, everything still has to wait for the sect leader to decide, only then can the correct decision be made, so please stay here for a few days, wait. It's not too late for the head of the sect to come to a conclusion and then say goodbye. Sowol didn't have any opinions and nodded, okay. He glanced at Yo Min who was a little relieved next to him and thought to himself. Miss Yo Min's matter seems to have been resolved smoothly, I should still be quiet here, quietly practice my internal skills to avoid causing trouble with the people of Mountain White Sect. A few days later, while Sowol was in the practice room, an old man outside approached and said, I'm sorry, the sect leader has invited you. Sowol nodded and stood up, I'm sorry to have you lead the way. Very quickly, under the guidance of the old man, So Unwol arrived at a mountain monastery. The old man guarding outside bowed his head and said, "Before meeting the sect leader, you must put your belongings in your pocket." Outside the door, asking for forgiveness. Waiting for So Unwol to take down his storage bag, he immediately gave way and invited him in. The sect leader waited for a long time before asking to come inside. As soon as So Unwol entered, he clasped his hands together. "Greetings, Junior." So Unwol pays his respects to the sect leader. The old man smiled kindly and looked at him. "Are you So Unwol, young knight? I am the head of the Mountain White sect, Nung Ya Woon. Quickly sit down. I have always wanted to meet you once before, but I did not expect that you would personally come to this sect, where you can meet the young master who defeated several opponents. The Wi family's heroic appearance is truly my blessing." So Unwol went and sat down opposite him. The senior praised him too much. He secretly thought in his heart, the Wi family probably wouldn't make his bad news public. If I go outside, maybe I won't spread it everywhere, but how does he know about this? Nung Ya Woon clenched his fists excitedly. "I already knew the good things you did for my sect. At that time I was truly so happy, a young and heroic warrior. But you were able to controlling 4 warriors who were in the middle of the heroic period. This really surprised others, and among the 4 people, 2 of them were also in the middle of the heroic period." So Unwol shook his head. "Senior has praised you too much. Junior is just lucky," Nung Ya Woon reminded. "But in the future you have to be careful. After all, the Wi family won't give up that easily." So Unwol nodded. Thanked the sect leader for reminding. Nung Ya Woon looked at So Unwol and thought silently, this young monk looked very normal, but he had done many things that made others shocked. Surprised, it seems that the intelligence is true. A young man with such a profound cultivation base is still humble and upright. It is really very good. After thinking for a moment he asked, "Dare to ask which sect the old brother belongs to?" When So Unwol heard him suddenly ask that, his eyes widened in suspicion. After a while, he smiled and explained, "I have no sect, this practice is all from the master. My friend taught me since childhood." Nung Ya Woon exclaimed in surprise, "Turns out to be a soul disciple. Can you tell me your master's great name?" So Unwol shook his head, "Neither my master nor I are from the Daewon nation, and my master who is hidden in the deep mountains probably doesn't know, and he has passed away many years ago, in this world. Very few people know about his existence." Nung Ya Woon nodded. "Oh, so that's it." Seeing that So Unwol didn't want to talk much about this issue, he immediately asked about something else. "You stayed in Mountain White sect for a few days. How do you feel about Mountain White sect?" So Unwol applauded, seeing that the sect has a clear and orderly system from top to bottom, worthy of being a famous sect for hundreds of years. Nung Ya Woon laughed loudly. "Haha, is it really like that?" His face darkened as he thought, but the current situation of Mountain White sect is really very bad. This time, an unexpected incident happened that resulted in the loss of 2 heroic warriors, and more the disciple with the greatest potential betrayed the sect. This is a huge blow to our sect. Plus our sect was also suppressed by the Iron Rock sect near Yueyang province. The pressure increased a lot. If at this time this sect has talented people like Unso old brother join, then the possibility of reviving this sect will be extremely high. Thinking for a moment, he then invited Unso, "Can you said to be the blessing of this sect, to handle a major disaster for this sect? It is truly immeasurable merit. Do you want to join this sect?" Unso heard that. His face was filled with surprise and suddenly he was stunned. Nung Ya Woon continued to speak loudly, "I don't need the face of a sect leader anymore. If you can join this sect, medicine pills are guaranteed to provide you with enough. There is no need to say more spirit stones, there will be no shortage. Moreover, after you reach the late stage of youth, there is also an elder position waiting for you. You sit. With your current cultivation level, it probably won't take 100 years to reach the advanced stage. I will be a powerful hand to help you break through." Unso secretly thought in his heart, this phase is a bit awkward. Okay. This trip I just want to establish a good relationship with the Mountain White sect. Basically I don't want to join. I prefer the current life of freedom and freedom without constraints. But sects like Mountain, if the White sect can support me, it will definitely be of great benefit to increasing my cultivation. After thinking for a moment, he sighed, "This is really a bit unexpected." Nung Ya Woon laughed. Haha, I understand. You don't have to decide right away. That's right. This sect also has 3 masters with positive cultivation. 2 of them are busy practicing so they don't show their faces. The other person is currently in Sang Cheon Palace. I want to introduce you to my master, and ask him to give you pointers to help you increase your cultivation. Sowol has once again fallen into difficulty. Hey, this offer is really attractive, but I can't just wait in Daewon Nation forever. I have to go to Yeonam Kingdom to avenge my masters. Thinking for a moment, he immediately folded his hands and refused. Thank you for your good intentions, but I don't intend to stay in Daewon Nation for long. I may have to leave Daewon Nation temporarily. Please forgive me. Nung Ya Woon's face wrinkled when he heard that. Again, Sowol continued to explain, if this junior really joined the Mountain White sect, and later received a lot of support from the Mountain White sect, suddenly one day without saying goodbye, wouldn't this be the case? Have you betrayed the sect leader's heart? When Nung Ya Woon heard these words, he smiled and stroked his beard, thinking, someday. That is to say, there is a possibility of not leaving. Thinking for a moment, he gave his opinion, so what do you think of this? You should become an outer sect disciple, then it won't matter if you leave Daewon Nation, you can move freely. Mountain White sect is currently actively attracting many outer sect disciples to join. We are also very fair to the outer sect disciples and try our best to protect and support them. Just these are some unique secret books that are not allowed to be passed out. Although I cannot be taken care of as comprehensively as an inner sect disciple, I will try my best. If you change your mind in the future, you can come back at any time. I will still keep the position of elder for you. Sowol asked again, after I become an outer sect disciple, it doesn't matter how long I can go abroad, right? Nung Ya Woon nodded, of course. Sowol was confirmed by him, then exhaled and brought the teacup up to take a sip. After a moment, he smiled and nodded, if the sect leader was since you said so, then I'd rather be respectful than obey. Nung Ya Woon took out a box and gave it to you. That's very good, this is for you. Sowol took it and opened it. Just try to be surprised, this is. Nung Ya Woon smiled and explained, this Tai Huyen Bao Chin Dan is my meeting gift for you. Please accept it, wait until you reach the level of maturity. In the late heroic period, even if you are not an inner disciple of the Mountain White sect, I will still give you an honorary elder position. I hope you will try your best to increase your cultivation level as quickly as possible. Sowol looking at the sparkling medicinal pill in front of me. I sighed in my heart, but I didn't expect that this decision would help me obtain Tai Huyen Bao Chin Dan. I am not a person who owes a favor without return. This Tai Huyen Bao Chin Dan can it's enough to prove Mountain White sect's sincerity.